Welcome to this explainer on the source material. I am so excited to dig into today's topic with you. If you're a student, a researcher, or just someone staring down an absolute mountain of assignments and dissertations right now, well, we really need to talk about something that haunts pretty much every academic journey out there: referencing. You know, it usually feels like this tiny, annoying detail, right? Just a quick afterthought you slap on at the very end of a brutal week of writing. But here's the reality check. The stakes are actually incredibly high. Today, we're unpacking this massive, frankly dangerous misconception in the academic world, because making one simple, completely understandable assumption about how you format your citations, well, it can literally cost you hard-earned marks and completely undermine your credibility.
Okay, let's dive straight into this. When your syllabus says, use Harvard style, what's your first instinct? Most of us just naturally assume that Harvard formatting is this single, universally agreed upon set of rules. It's like we picture this golden rulebook locked in a vault at Harvard University itself, and it looks exactly the same whether you're at a university in the UK, Australia, or submitting to a global journal. It's so easy to think, hey, I learned Harvard style in my freshman year, I'm good for life, right? But is it actually the exact same across the board? The short answer? Absolutely not. No way. These styles are completely not interchangeable, and we've got to shatter this myth right out of the gate. Now, yes, to be fair, these different institutional styles do share a core author date foundation. So basically everywhere, you're going to see the author's last name and the year of publication chilling in brackets within your text. But honestly, that is pretty much where the universal similarities end. You absolutely cannot just swap one version out for another. Treating them as one giant identical category is a huge mistake. To really wrap our heads around the scale of this mess, just think about the sheer volume of tiny differences that can trip you up here. I mean, different variants argue over the exact number of authors you can list before using et al. And speaking of et al., wait, do you italicize it? Does it need a period at the end? And then there's title capitalization and whether you italicize the publication name or if you even need the city of publication anymore. Oh, and don't even get me started on how to present DOIs, the exact wording for URLs, how to format access dates, or what to do when information is just plain missing. It is literally a minefield of tiny, frustrating little details that change the second you look at a different institution's guide. And this brilliantly illustrates the tasteful irony of this whole situation. Picture this. You spend hours, meticulously crafting the perfect, flawless citation list using the Leeds Harvard guidelines. You've checked every single comma, every italicized word, and you hit submit feeling on top of the world. But if you took that exact same beautifully formatted lead citation and handed it to a professor at Bath or ran it against the Cardiff Harvard guidelines, it could be marked completely wrong. The rules literally morph depending on the university. So your A+ bibliography at one school is basically a formatting disaster at another. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, whatever, I'll just use a major, widely recognized standard to be safe. That'll bypass all these hyperlocal rules, right? Actually, scratch that. Even the absolute titans of the referencing world, like the famous Cite Them Right Harvard Guide, clash directly with other major standards like UWE Harvard. They each have their own incredibly strict, unbending rulebooks. You can't just Frankenstein them together, picking a cool element from one and a rule from another. It's a full-on institutional clash, and your grades are the ones getting caught right in the crossfire. So, the crucial point here is how on earth do we actually navigate this formatting chaos? Luckily, the source material gives us a highly effective, totally concrete survival strategy. It boils down to 3 steps. Step 1, pick one current guide. Do the digging and find out exactly which specific version your department or professor demands. Step 2, use it right from the beginning of your research. Trust me, do not wait until 11 p.m. the night before your deadline to try and retrofit 50 citations to a brand new rulebook. And step 3, whatever you do, do not mix style elements. Sticking like glue to that one single guide is your absolute ultimate shield. Now take a breath, because there is some good news here. You really don't have to manage all this completely manually. To handle this staggering amount of detail, you can lean on purpose-built digital tools like the Harvard Reference Generator. You can find that at harvardreferencegenerator.co.uk. It's a real game changer in this fight, mainly because it supports a remarkably broad range of Harvard source types. That alone is going to save you a massive amount of mental energy and time, especially when you're pulling your hair out trying to figure out how to format some complex, non-traditional, or just highly unusual source material. But hold on a second, we have to pause here for a very stern warning.
Even with these amazing, highly capable digital tools right at your fingertips, you still cannot mix style elements. You can never, ever assume that seeing the word Harvard means you'll get identical punctuation everywhere. A comma in one guide might strictly need to be a period or a semicolon in another. Yes, the tool is absolutely there to do the heavy lifting for you, but you still have to know which specific rule set you're aiming for, and you always need to double check that the output matches your specific institution's demands.
Which brings us to our final lingering thought for this explainer. You now know the myth of the universal Harvard style. You understand the very real academic stakes involved, and you know there are powerful tools out there ready to help you out. So you have the tools, but will you stay consistent? It is just so incredibly easy to slip up, get a little lazy, and accidentally mash up different formats when you're rushing to hit a midnight deadline. So, as you go back to your research today, I'm leaving you with this. Are you going to fiercely protect your hard work by rigorously sticking to one single verified guide from start to finish? Or are you going to let the comforting illusion of a universal Harvard style cost you your grade? Definitely keep that in mind for your next paper. Thanks so much for joining me for this analysis, and as always, keep learning.